Believe it or not, there are some rocks that float. Have you ever seen a rock that can float? Pretty amazing, but true. So rocks, a lot of rocks start in a volcano. So the volcano, like this picture here of the biggest volcano on Earth, Mauna Loa in Hawaii. Hot lava comes out from the center of the Earth, from under the Earth, where it's really hot. And when the volcano erupts, see what happens there. Up there it goes. Okay. So lava is coming out of the volcano and it's really, really hot, right? Really super hot. But once it hits the air or the water or the land, it begins to cool. And as it cools, it forms rocks. And depending on where the lava cools, it forms different kinds of rocks. So when the lava cools in the water, it forms a rock like this one called obsidian. See how shiny that is? It's sharp. It's really dense. They made knives out of it. Obsidian. If it cools on land, it's called scoria. And this one you may have seen around in landscape. It's got lots of little holes in it. It's hard to see because it's all black on black. The little holes, not terribly dense. And then if it cools in the air, if it got thrown up into the air, it's called pumice. And you can see all the little holes in that one. And you can compare them and see that this one is light. And we're going to, again, use the pan balance. And we're not going to measure the grams, but we're just going to compare. So our three rocks are the obsidian, the scoria, and the pumice. Let's start with the two heavier ones. The obsidian, which one do you think can be heavier? All the way down. The scoria. The obsidian was actually heavier. So now I've got scoria and pumice. Again, which one do you think should be heavier? Can I guess? And the pumice barely made a dent. In fact, I can add some more pumice. Still didn't make it. If you got any more pumice, it doesn't make much difference. So very, very light because it cools in the air. In fact, it's even light enough to float. You won't. I don't want my volcano to fall off and get down. So you've probably done some little experimenting with sink and float. And you know that these two little balls are more or less the same size, a bouncy ball and a little piece of styrofoam ball. So which one would you predict would sink and which one would float? Let's see if you're right. Sink and float. Because styrofoam is full of all kinds of tiny little holes, okay? All kinds of tiny little holes, and that's why it floats. So let's try it with our rocks. So I've got my obsidian here. What do you think? Sink or float? Straight to the bottom. Now the interesting thing, so the scoria has a lot of little holes in it also, like that pumice. Let's see. I'll show you. So when I drop it in, it sinks, but it's also giving off a lot of little air bubbles. Can you see the little air bubbles coming off? Because the little holes had air in them, so the air is escaping. Now the pumice, again, has lots and lots of holes. So let's see what happens. And it floats like magic. Pretty amazing. More pumice, it's all floating. Floating rocks, amazing. The only rock that can float, pumice. We have three different kinds of rock. Can you remember the names? Pretty easy. So pumice can float, Scoria sinks. And this one, this beautiful, shiny, sharp one, is called Obsidian. So Obsidian, Scoria, and pumice. And again, the reason they all started out as lava, but the Obsidian cooled in the water. The Scoria cooled on land, and the pumice cooled up in the air. And that's why they ended up so different. So if